Yeah, give me a couple thoughts that you have on financial efficiency.
Are we recording now? We rolling?
Oh, we've been recording, brother.
Yeah, I know.
We've been
Yeah, I figured
recording, man.
that.
Look, this is it. Yeah, we've been
You know,
recording.
what's interesting is with financial efficiency, with the situation that we have now with this pandemic, you're almost forced into financial efficiency. Because financial efficiency in my mind is simply saying that I need to not necessarily be frugal, but I need to be smart when I shop, and I need to make sure that I'm spending my money and strategically. So I'm being smart about it. I'm planning ahead. It's just not that sporadic spending or impulse shopping now. Because a lot of times, you know, previously you can just go to the store, you see something, you throw it in your bucket. But now, when when you're not sure if you're going to get a paycheck next week, or you're not sure if you're going back to work, you have to be smart when you buy. You know, you may even have to buy in bulk depending on your family size. So when I think of financial efficiency, that's what I envision. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that it definitely can be the result of deliberate, intentional, you use the word strategic, you know, shopping. You know, you gotta be very intentional. You gotta be deliberate about, you know, about what you are spending your money on, you know. And if not, you won't have the opportunity for your money to do the most for you.
That's right.
You know, I think the other piece that comes in is education, understanding, you know, what really happens with your money. You know, when you get money and you use it a certain way, you know, what are you doing by default? Are you giving it an opportunity to produce for you, or are you giving it just the opportunity to be very short transactional, you know, short-term transactional, you know, for you? Yeah. So if you're not putting yourself in position for your money to give you something other than immediate gratification, you know, the procurement of something that's gonna dissipate, that's gonna, you know, depreciate, you know. If we're talking about food, you know, we know that it's gonna truly dissipate, you know,
that's right.
literally.
That's right. Yep.
You know, right?
Yeah, food is to be eaten.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, you know, what are you really doing to give your money a chance to be efficient? You know, and if you aren't, you know, deliberately or intentionally doing things or being strategic, to use your word, you know, chances are you are going to have very low financial efficiency. It's just, you know, what else would you expect to have? You ain't, you know, you're not trying to do anything, you know, productive, you know, intentionally. So likelihood you're not going to have anything productive come out of it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of people, it's just, I mean, we start talking about living paycheck to paycheck, because that's what we talked about last week, really. You know, our last Fireside chat, and when you live in paycheck to paycheck, how do you literally set aside money to, you know, to make your money grow? And you have to be strategic about it. You know, you literally have to say, you know, I might not be able to buy this for myself this week, you know, but I can put this money away. So that whole financial efficiency piece, it's a way to really live and get past that normal paycheck to paycheck as well, because you plan for something. Even if it take you a year to put away the money that you need to start a business or do what you need to do, then at least you're working towards something and you have a goal in mind. And with that financial efficiency, it creates discipline to where you then have to become a slave to that discipline. Otherwise, you break mode, and now you're back in the same situation. You know, so financial efficiency is definitely a sweet.
Like the young boy Nip say, you know, it's levels to this thing. Right?
Yes.
So you may not necessarily have the resources. You still, like, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck. You may not have, you know, a lot of resources, but hey, you don't go to McDonald's, you know, 5-6 times a week. You know,
well, you shouldn't. Yeah.
You shouldn't. You don't do that. You know, you go and buy, you know, use that money to buy you, you know, enough food. If 5 trips to McDonald's is giving you 5 meals, if you can take that same money and buy foods from a grocery store that is going to give you 6, 7, 8 meals, you're being more efficient with your money.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
So it's not, to me, it's not excuse. It's always a choice.
That's right. I agree.
You know, it's always a choice. It's most often people choose not to make the productive choice and then complain about what they don't have.
That's right.
You know, but they're not being good stewards over, you know, what they do have. And, you know, we would drift and try to, you know, lean towards some, you know, biblical principles. It would be, okay, well, why give you more talents if you just burying the ones that I gave you?
That's right. That's right.
You know, you're not doing anything with them, so why should you have more?
That's right.
You know? But there's always things that can be done, and that's even outside of dealing with our program, you know, and how we leverage, you know, all natural foods. You know, people can still gain financial efficiency to some degree. Now, it may not be at the level that they can get by being, you know, an active participant, you know, in, you know, YLC club and promoting, you know, and being an advocate for, you know, for our natural food products. But hell, if they went and you said you might have to buy bulk. Okay, well, if you went and you spent your money and you got a Sam's Club or you got a Costco, you know, membership, you know, and you went and spent your money there instead of going to McDonald's or Burger King, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, you're being more financially efficient, you know.
That's right. Yes.
That might not be getting you where you really need to go or what you really need, but it's headed in the right direction.
That's
know?
right.
So it's making some intentional, you know, deliberate decisions to allow your resources to give you more. You know, that's the, you know, the core foundation of financial efficiency. You know, and if you can't pause long enough to even, you know, try to, you know, discern or reflect on whether or not your money is giving you enough, then you're, you know, pretty much destined, you know, to stay stuck in that financial stagnant state, you know, of living paycheck to paycheck.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And,
yeah, because simple change, a simple change, something like just buying lunch meat and bread. You know, I mean, because you think about the cost of that compared to that's really, shoot, you can do that with one meal at a McDonald's or Burger King, or you know. You
go to Arby's, man, and you get you know, you get that roast beef combo. It's gonna cost you $7.89. You go, you know, to Publix or Kroger's, you can buy, you know, £1.50.
Yeah, and you can get condiments. Get close to some condiments as well, about $10, you know.
They don't have a pack of condiments right there. You can just go ahead and put some in the bag. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, and now you got what about 7, 8 sandwiches. Now that's 7, 8 days of lunches that you know, and you saved, you know, all this money. So that financial efficient. I think it's just people.
It's a mindset.
People, it's a mindset. Some people are really not coached and taught. You know, it's just more of a, you know, live how I live. And, you know, but when it comes down to it, man, when it gets to a situation like you have now where so many people are unemployed, you know, where this unemployment rate is, you know, is continue to increase, and unemployment claims continue to increase weekly. So, you know, with that, people are, I think they're you know, it's a really awakening, you know, like, man,
and hopefully that this is a wake-up call for people.
That's right.
And they need to realize, you know, there's a thought process, you know, the time to do things is before you actually need it, you know.
That's right.
So the time to buy auto insurance is not after you have an accident. Time to buy, you know, your auto insurance, you know, is before you start driving the car, you know.
That's right.
That's when you buy the auto insurance. So when you see how easy it is for your financial livelihood to be snatched away. And even if we say there's nobody at fault. You know, even if we, you know, we don't want to play the blame game, and we just want to say, okay, this is a true force du jour type of situation. You know, it's an act of God. How do you prepare so that the next time this type of act of God, so to speak, situation comes about, you aren't caught, you know, with your pants down and the tide rolls out, like we talked about the other day. You know, so you have a choice to do things to prepare. You know,
yes,
and everybody, you know, that is 30 or older should clearly know that you cannot have all of your confidence riding on a employment status.
Yes.
You know, that is the banana in the tailpipe, you know, that is the lullaby right there, because I'm waiting to see how many of these companies that have taken millions and millions and millions of dollars from this bailout money don't hire their employees back.
Wow.
They don't hire their employees back. And some of these companies have gotten enough money that they're already, you know, talking about, you know, large, you know, pay cuts, 30, 40% type of pay cuts. They're most likely not going to hire back the employees. Now, supposed to be the conditions of a lot of this bailout money was that they have to spend it and bring back these employees. But they have so much time to do it. So if they've got 18 to 24 months, you know, that's 18 to 24 months that they have, you know, to use, a layman's term, to jack that money off and, you know, to do some other things with it. And then, okay, well, we're just going to, you know, file bankruptcy. We're going to close, you know, dissolve the business. We're going to do, you know, whatever, because they've already gotten the money now. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
So they've got the money. They can really be starting a whole nother business.
That's right. Yeah.
And be doing it from a whole different, you know, vantage point.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You know, the other thing that I think people should clearly be, you know, recognizing, and this is not necessarily on financial efficiency, how the same people that run around and adamantly advocate, you know, you need, you know, to strap up your boots and you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? Yeah. These are the same business owners that want this bailout money, that they want. They don't want to have any type of socialism, any type of support going to you, you know, as an individual, but they want that socialism type of support coming to them as a corporation to help them in a so-called time of need. You know, so it's not good when it goes to an individual, but it's okay when it comes to, you know, comes to me as the, you know, as the corporate owner. You know, I want that. You know, and it's amazing how if we don't see certain things, or we see it and we don't pay attention to it and don't really recognize what it is. And the most important thing that we have, in addition to financial resources and being efficient with it, is understanding that if we don't exercise our frustration in the ballot to get rid of these people who are making these decisions that keep having these reoccurring effects to us, you know, we're going to continue to be victims of these situations. You know,
continue to
burning down buildings ain't gonna change it. Getting the people out of power that are making these decisions is what's going to change these circumstances.
That's right. That's right. I agree.
So hopefully, you know, some of these people. I was a friend of mine, man. He's high up in the cab, you know, police department, and we was texting last night, and it's like, man, these cats out here, everybody, we can relate to the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna knock the frustration, but it's like my grandmama said, hey, look, you can be mad, but it's the consequences of the decision that you make from being mad that you're gonna have to live with.
That's right. That's right.
So the actions that they're taking is counterproductive.
Yeah.
You're getting people's attention for sure. You're getting people's attention, but more than likely, it ain't gonna come with what with what you were hoping for.
Yeah, what you're hoping for. Yeah, definitely.
More likely, but there's other ways to get their attention and get what you hope for.
That's right. Yeah.
All of these people, man, they about capitalism. Yeah. So, take that frustration, channel that frustration, stop shopping at certain stores, and stop shopping with certain companies that that they're funding, these lobbyists to have laws written to protect them so that they can further squeeze, more of your money out of you, and diminish your opportunity to have financial efficiency, because it still comes back to
that. That goes back to that whole financial efficiency.
It still comes back to it, and that's how you channel, this frustration, and do it in a way, that is actually going to be productive. Might not give you that same ooh-wee feeling at the moment, but in the short, medium, and long term, it's going to be far more productive. That instant, release of, endorphins or whatever, might not be there. But, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, that's what's going to be productive. We got to, not just go for that instant, gratification. Because, financial efficiency, don't necessarily happen with the flick of a light switch.
That's right.
So you have to do certain things to allow that progressive pattern to take root and to actually manifest into something of significance.
That's right. That's right. It takes some action. Take some doing. Then, as I said earlier, it takes some discipline. So yeah, and that's and I believe that especially as people begin to observe and be able to see and look for opportunities. Of course, I'm glad that what we have in place is, here at YLC Club is something that's set up to where it doesn't change your buying habits. You don't necessarily have to change your, what you're buying. You find items in the store that matches up, you purchase those items. But at the same time, you can refer other people. And when you refer these other people over and they do the same thing, now you have another iron in the fire. So yes, you may continue to work your 9 to 5. It may not turn like that. It may just be enough money to help pay some bills, to help buy more food, to help you be more financially efficient. And because it's laid out in such a strategic way to where people just simply, they buying what they already buy, So by putting your, irons in the fire to be able to do something besides your regular 9 to 5, and it may not be YLC Club, it may be something else you decide to do, maybe makeup or something, I don't know. But something has to come along with that regular 9 to 5, unless you're making, a couple $100,000 a year. And even then, if you're not living financially efficient, you still could be living paycheck to paycheck. It's people that makes a couple $100,000 a year that's still on the brink of bankruptcy. We know that. And it's all because of spending habits. So
you making, a couple $100,000 a year, you got, $10,000, $12,000 mortgage, I'm here to tell you, when you get into financial trouble and you got a $10,000 mortgage, there ain't a whole lot of people you can call. So, spot me a little bit. My mortgage is due. But you got a $1,000, $1,500 mortgage, and you run in a little trouble. Well, you have a much higher probability of being able to find somebody that can help you.
$400 or $500 possibly. Now you do what you got. But when you push the 10, so that is a difference.
Hey man, look, I can get you half. Here's $750, but you got $10,000-$12,000 mortgage, you call somebody, man. Look, first thing they thinking, okay, damn, even if I do, get it for you, that's a
for
heavy.
This month.
That's and next month. So
what you gonna do? Yeah.
I'm putting all that money out there. It still might go to waste.
That's right. That's right.
If you don't get it figured out. So yeah, that's a lot worse.
Yeah.
So more money, more problems sometimes.
Yes.
If you aren't doing, the basic fundamental, financial efficiency.
Financial efficiency, yeah.
Now, of course, with this situation, with this whole pandemic, you can't necessarily fault people per se, because this is certainly, a lot of things that'll fall out that's out of their control.
That's right.
But what we can fault people is if you don't understand that this is possible, this can easily happen again, and you don't prepare, and you get caught the next time. What's the adage? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know what I mean? So as long as people, wake up and stay woke, they should be, a lot better off. But if you get the lullaby and you fall back to sleep, then you kind of, deserve what you get.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be, definitely curious to see as we continue to move forward, and we know things are beginning to open back up across the country. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what goes for. Awesome. All right. So what's on the agenda for our next chat? What we're looking at for our next fireside chat? Any thoughts on that?
Let's talk about doing something with minimal risk versus doing something with minimal risk that may not necessarily have all the glitter, may not have that shiny object and everything.
Yeah.
But it's something that is better for you because the safeguard against the risk is there, but yet the preservation of an enormous upside, financial upside, is there. But it doesn't necessarily have, the glitz and glamour that a lot of things, have.
Yeah.
But because they come with all of the shiny objects, all of the glitter and gold, people gravitate to them, and they're actually not the best thing for them. They're a higher risk thing. They're a higher, likelihood of not being able to succeed, or only a few can, succeed, versus taking something that, is not super, sexy, but can almost have universal success.
That's right. That's right.
People don't.
Sounds good. Yeah.
We're programmed to go after. We want that party girl. Or the girl wants that that bad boy. And every bit of logic tells you, okay, well, the party girl, she probably gonna end up running around, and cheating on you. Every bit of logic tells you that the bad boy, he probably gonna run around and do something, that's gonna get him in trouble, and he ain't gonna be there for you. But we get conditioned to gravitate to that's what we want, instead of making a much more methodical, decision based on discipline and logic of what is more probable to be productive. So let's see if we can dive into that, and maybe
good.
do
Sounds good.
We do some comparison, we do some contrasting,
Yeah.
And see where that goes.
Sounds good. Yep. Sounds good. Awesome.
Yep.
Another great discussion. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me go and shut this thing down. So, what's the day? Today is Sunday. What is the day?
Today is the 31st.
The 31st. All right. So
last day of May.
Yeah, we'll be back first Sunday in June. We hope that you guys have a safe and, you know, productive week, and above all else, you know, while you're get you some financial efficiency.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace.